So for step 13, roll cage 1. Well, we need to grab our roll cage pieces and this bar, and that's it. This is going to be fairly simple because essentially once you've got your roll cage parts and cut off the excess parts tree bits, you just need to spin these in both directions to get this attached to that metal bar. So I'll set it up and let's put it together. So let's grab our roll cage parts. So you can see this one is this one here, and you can see it's showing you taking the metal bar, putting it on, and spinning it this way. So we'll just basically spin it on. And that's nicely in place, just like that. And I would gather we're going to do the exact same thing for the other side. So if I put this on and spin, yep, we'll just keep spinning. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little awkward, so let's just see if I can't show this more. There we go. Let's do it this way. Spin this together. Make sure that it's now going to be as level as we can, because we're going to need to make sure that's how it looks. So there we go. There is our roll cage pretty much coming together. So that's step 13. Pretty simple, as I said. So we can now move on to step 14 and work on roll cage 2. So for step 14, roll cage 2. Well, this is where we're going to add the top pieces to the roll cage. So there's these two parts off the A parts tree. There's also these plastic nuts that are going to go on there, and they come off the A parts tree as well. So there's the top roof piece, and then here's the two little screw bits that we're going to need from the parts tree. And then there, of course, is our screws that we need. The 2 of the BA1s and 4 of the BA3s. So I'll set this up and we'll put this together. So let's grab our roll cage, and you can see that in terms of the diagram, it's going to be sitting like this. And you can see that this part here, so if we grab the bar, it needs to sit between the two at the top there. And you can see that they're going to be screwed in with the BA3s. So we've got one there, and it's going directly into the bar. So I'll hold this and we'll screw this in place. And then we have the other one is going to be screwed into place on the other side. So I'm just wanting to make sure that that actually is going in level, which it seems to be. Yes. So we've got to be able to screw this into place. Now it seems to want to move around, so I think I'm going to grab the pliers and hold it on the flat, and that will give me more leverage on this side to be able to screw it in. There we go. Now the only thing is we don't know yet whether how this is going to move around, because you need to be able to face it up so that it will screw into the roof piece as well. So same idea. I'm just going to hold this with the pliers on the flat and we'll screw this in. Now, they are tapping screws, and the black parts are the softer plastic. Now, this is hard plastic, so it shouldn't be too hard. It's just a matter of getting it going through. And you don't want to strip it, obviously, but you do need to make sure that you get it in all the way. It looks like there was a little bit more room on that side, but otherwise it looks like it's in pretty good shape, and it's being held well, so that's good. So what do we need to do now? Well, we've got to grab this top part right here, and you can see that it's going to go around on all four. So you see it's going to attach there, and on the back side there's these two holes which are going to fit on over top of these bubbles, you could say, and that's going to sit there like that to help hold it in place. And you can see that those holes are aligned with the roof part on this side. So if you think the way this is going to go, that's got to screw in with the BA3 screws. So we'll put one in, and I'll start screwing that in, which goes in well. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, they are the tapping screws, so once you get to the end, you should stop, but just make sure you don't strip anything out. Don't over tighten. So if I back this off, I just want to feel how that's going in, but it should be fine. Yep, that's nice and tight. Okay, so there are the two screws holding in the top part, or the front bit. Now it's a matter of attaching this rear part. And with this, you can see that we're going in through the top, just like that, all the way. But on the back side, we've got these plastic nuts that are holding it in, which is interesting. So make sure that you get this going in on the right angle. And in fact, I think I'm going to do the same thing that I normally do with the metal ones, is we'll use the box wrench to make sure that it holds together, or that I've got enough leverage on the box wrench itself to make sure that this is going in level. And again, because it's the plastic, we're going to have to, maybe the easiest way is to hold that there and use our screwdriver to screw it on. Almost at the end. And again, because that is plastic, don't over tighten, because with it being plastic, you're definitely going to strip it out if you over tighten. Okay, so last one, we're going to do the same thing. Grab our box wrench, put that in there, and grab our screw. Put that into the top enough that it's going to go through to the end. I wonder if I can just use this to sort of screw it in a bit until it slips into place. Well, I can feel it wanting to go, but let's just see if I'll... No. I'll take it all the way, I guess. The other one I was able to pop into place, but this one doesn't want to do that. So grab the box wrench again, stick that in place like that. Make sure I'm holding it as level as I can. And we're going to screw this in at the same time. And just check to make sure that that's going in level which it is. So we'll hold that and screw it in. And again, when you're getting to the end, just be careful a bit here, because you don't want to strip it out. So there we go. There are the two nuts in. There's the front part on. So there we go. There is roll cage 2. That's what it should look like when you're finished. So step 14 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 15 and actually attach the roll cage to the chassis. So for step 15, attaching the roll cage, well, you can see that in terms of the placement, the front of the roll cage is going to be screwed in with 2 screws at the front, and then we have to place the roll cage down into these holes here, and then they're going to be attached with these flange nuts from underneath. So there's the hardware that we need. So I'll set this up and we'll put the roll cage on. So if we grab our chassis here, you can see that this is going to need to fit onto the backside, and these screws are going to go into the holes right here. So on either side, right there. So that means that we need to slide this on and move it over. Now you're going to see that because of the way we've done the ESC, what you're going to want to do is feed the wire in through this part of the roll cage so that it will fit on here properly, and then the cable itself isn't binding. So if we put that one in there, you can see that this is now coming straight out of the box, so it's not binding in any way. And on this side, we're going to have to put that into that hole there, and then these two are going to fit into the front parts just like that. So then that's going to be nice and secure. So I think what we'll do first is let's screw in these two at the front. So if I grab one of our screws, I'm going to stick that in there and we'll screw it in place. Now these are not tapping screws and you're going into soft plastic. So when you get to the end, just stop. You don't want to strip any of this out. So I can feel it spinning around in there, and so I'm tightening it, but I'm not going to go too far. So same again with the other side. Stick that screw into there, and we'll just screw this in place. And again, as soon as I feel it grabbing, I'm going to stop, because you will end up stripping that out, and you don't want that. Okay, so those ones are secure. So now with the other ones, we've got our flange nuts. So these are just going to fit onto here. And we can use our box wrench to tighten them up. In fact, you know what? I'm going to use the box wrench, well, the tool set from my Tamiya kit, because that's going to be easier to try and attach that. Feels pretty good. And again, I don't want to over tighten either. So same thing on the other side. We'll grab our flange nut. Well, actually, let's do it this way. Let's just stick it into our tool here. And we'll screw it in like that. Okay, I'm just going to check the other side again just to make sure this actually is going in okay. because we are screwing into hard plastic, but there, you know, obviously the screw is coming in through the soft plastic. But that's nice and secure now. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Yeah. So there we go. There is the roll cage in place. And notice that our battery cable is coming out of that spot right there. It's not binding in any way, and it's in the perfect position to connect to the battery. Very, very cool. So I'm loving the look of that for sure. Awesome. Okay, so that means that step 15 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 16 and start working with the gearbox.